Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of On Location here in Edmonton. As always, I am Gabby, and we have Harvey behind the camera once again. Eventually, he will be in front of the camera, but he's been trying to lay it off as long as he can. But enough about us. Today, I am joined by two amazing folks, and I know I say this about all the guests, but all the guests are amazing. I'm joined by Shawn and Su, the co-directors of the FascinAsian Film Festival in Edmonton. Shawn and Su, how are you doing today?
Great.
Yeah,
Good. Yeah.
good
thank
stuff.
you.
Fantastic.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
For those who have been watching us for a hot minute, you may notice Shawn because we have done prior work together. So it was very interesting when he approached me to discuss like, hey, would you be interested in like volunteering with the FascinAsian Film Festival? And I was like, absolutely, because we've done awesome work together. Why would I say no to this? And through that process, I got to meet Su, who is probably one of the most hardworking people I've ever met
Thanks.
in my life. She has attended every event, every meeting, like even meetings where I'm like, do you even need to be here for this meeting? And you're just like in the background, like taking notes and everything. So I was like, I don't know how you guys met. Perhaps you can enlighten us. But like, Su is super hard work. Shawn's okay, but Su, fantastic. But can you folks let us know a little bit about the film festival and kind of like how the Edmonton, I want to say branch came to be? Because this festival, so the viewers know, it kind of began in Winnipeg. Is that correct?
Mhm.
Let us know how kind of like that happened and how did it open up to an Edmonton branch with you two as co-directors?
Actually, I'll let you take this one.
Oh,
because
go Shawn.
You're the starting point. Really.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Let's start with
So, I've been kind of actually over COVID really connected with, I guess, the National Asian Heritage Community organizers, and so it was really through COVID that I even knew that Asian Heritage Month was something that people organized around. Started to understand some of the different organizations doing the work to celebrate, but also like educate folks around, I think how Asian community is doing across so-called Canada, Turtle Island. And so, yeah, like I met Alan Wong, who's the president of FascinAsian Film Festival, through kind of these circles. At that time, FascinAsian wasn't even started yet, but yeah, we just, kind of kept in touch, and I knew about FascinAsian starting soon after, and eventually, I think it was in the second year, I even submitted a short film that got selected in one of their festivals, and so in that second year, they were already expanded to Calgary. So I think that was in 2022. And so, yeah, Winnipeg and Calgary have been doing this since 2022. And for me, as like a filmmaker, I think it was really cool to see that there was a festival and a presentation space dedicated to supporting Asian filmmakers, like it felt really good submitting to that. And of course, like, I naturally was like, how can we do something like this in Edmonton? So I think when it became kind of obvious that it was something that I was really interested in, it was about reaching out to the film festival and the nonprofit there to just say, hey, is there interest in expanding to Edmonton? And then we pretty much formalized it officially, I think, in November. And so that's kind of how it all kind of got started. In November, we have, built a team, including yourself as one of the great volunteers. And we have, all these other great volunteers that wanted to see it happen. And so, you all are kind of the heart and the beating drum of how it motivates us all to like make this work. So
Su, I was just kind of wondering what kind of like your background was and how you got involved in FascinAsian Film Festival, and also like how did you two meet to become the co-directors?
Yeah, notice Shawn didn't tell that story because I was like on the bottom of the
Oh
list,
wow!
right? Gabby's
Ooh.
in. Who
Yeah.
else can
Yeah,
I
and he was
get?
finally like, I guess, yeah.
Because
So,
I'm not here in the typical, I'm not a filmmaker. I've done digital storytelling for public programming, a librarian. So I have a lot of different strengths to contribute in terms of community building, organizing, and supporting and amplifying underrepresented voices there. And as a librarian, I love reading, but I also love movies and films and TV shows. I love storytelling in a lot of different formats as well. So we actually met at Foo's. So I think we really definitely have to have an event at Foo's, Double
oh,
Dragon. It was just the first time I met Shawn. We are part of an online chat group, right? It's a Chinese diaspora group
oh wow.
that my friend and former coworker Amy connected me to, because she's like, you need some Asian friends. Like we were talking and we get all like into our like memories and childhood. And I had like lived away for a while. I lived in Montreal and then I came back to Edmonton. And so like my community was gone in that sense. So when I connected with Amy, she's just like letting me know about all these things happening. And I'm like, oh, I would really be into that. So she put me in this list.
Yeah.
It's been great. Like I love being part of this community, and then I meet cool people like you, Gabby.
Stop it. But
Like
continue. Yeah.
I can't stop laughing whenever we're around. We just like it's not even work. Our festival
Yes.
is so much fun, right? If you have the passion and you've got a good crew with you, it's like fun. And I feel like there's a lot of hours put into it, but when you're passionate about it and you really see the goal in mind, it goes by fast. Like Shawn was saying, this started in November. I went on a whirlwind trip to like Vancouver, went to the festival there, met with the board members, got to know the team. And then right after I came back to Edmonton, it's just been go, go, go. But it's been great because I've been connecting with people in the community, having really great feedback. And then when I hear the feedback, they're like, oh, thank you for creating space. We really need this festival here in Edmonton. They're so excited. And that excitement just inspires me to like do more, to like enhance that programming, look at things that we need to add because we want this to be a great experience for Edmontonians. So I feel that really inspires me there. How about you?
Well, I mean, it's kind of like a leading question because obviously it's not done yet. So we certainly are, I guess I'm being like a little more just like cautious about even saying too much
Yeah.
because, like even, currently I'm still kind of processing all the different things that we need to do. There's just so many moving parts to a film festival that we have to keep in mind of. But I think similarly, I mean, with our experience in production, right? Like there's these very like staged timelines and things that we have to accomplish. So much of it is about just making sure that we kind of hit the things within the milestones that we're trying to achieve. And right now, as we're kind of speaking, we're really thinking, we're closing off and figuring out like the programming aspect of things, selecting all the films, like building like a program around it. And the other big piece of it is fundraising. And so, at the end of the day, like any kind of festival that you want to run has a lot of, it leans a lot on having a good budget and like being able to find people and organizations and businesses to either get grants for them and or sponsorships and donations. So these are things that we're actively trying to think about and things that I get a little anxious about leading up because we certainly have a lot of things to kind of fill our shoes with. So yeah, like I could go on and on and on because there's
Please do, but
we're
no.
just like midway between, but
Yeah.
hopefully that doesn't scare
Yeah.
some future people that are considering throwing like a film festival if they are. But this is actually my second time kind of doing film festival work. I've done something kind of curated for another local organization here, more dance movement company called Mile Zero Dance. So shout out to Jerry and all the great team at Mile Zero. But yeah, there's a festival there called Reeling on Film, and that film festival, I was lucky enough to be invited to curate for 2 years. And so I kind of have been through a bit of the process of like the selections process and programming the films and just being part of, like showcasing dance film on, on screen. And so that's a bit of a niche, but I think a lot of the things that I was able to learn and pick up from kind of a programming standpoint and administration standpoint, I've been able to think about like how to work that in here. I mean, I could, there's so much going in my mind in terms of that question, but.
No, it's quite a bit, but I always, I'm interested in like having like volunteered, even like watching you folks like take the steps to promote, to kind of go to various events, to put up booths, to like, even we joke about it like all the time, like the Migarang popcorn that's being sold. We can't not highlight it because it kind of, I want to say, began as like a thought and then was incorporated in kind of promoting, and now we're like trying to promote it even further. But it was just like fascinating to me that you folks took the time to always consider like how can this be kind of like welcoming and a safe space, but also what can we do differently? What can we do to stand out so you're not repeating the same formulas of every other festival that happens here, because there are a lot, like, but how can you both stand out and also be welcoming? And like it's an interesting line to have, and like you want to like be adventurous, but you want to be adventurous, and you're kind of in between. I wanted to ask a question here of who would be your ideal folks to submit to the festival. I know that you briefly touched on it, stating that like it has to highlight kind of the Asian diaspora, but what's like if you are ABC, please consider submitting your film.
You want to answer that, or you want me to?
You go ahead.
It's all you, Shawn. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think the organization's eligibility requirements are really just about self-identification, right? Mm-hmm. And so if you self-identify as Pan-Asian, then and you have a film that touches upon like the Asian identity or the Asian experience, then it's all fair game, And so I think right now it's really just about like keeping barriers to entry as low as possible. So, there's like a small fee for submitting onto Film Freeway for the shorts submissions. There's an internal committee that really gets to explore the work, but also gets to have these great discussions on what is like a great entry point to this whole discussion of Asianness in Canada, right? So, yeah, I mean, I think like I'm not answering your question at all. I'm leaving it just as like gray as possible, because I think it would not be fair for me to dictate to anyone what Asianness is. And so maybe that's just part of the journey that I have come to when it comes to self-identification, is that, I don't, I have my own personal connection with my Asian culture, but that by no means means that I am any more or less Asian than someone else who, identifies as being Asian. So
I wanted to ask you folks, and you cannot say why not, but why Edmonton?
Why?
Oh,
For the film festival. Why did you both want to kind of expand the festival into Edmonton?
we need one in Edmonton, really. I mean, just in the stories and the feedback that people have shared. It was at Together, and I was talking to a father's son, an adult son, and I was talking about starting this festival, and he started talking about all these movies. So we talked about the films that we watched together over time, and of course his dad bought one of the popcorn with Migoran, and he ate the whole thing, watching two people who just met for the first time talk about nothing but film. right?
Oh.
And it was just like, this is what we want, a community, people who are passionate about films, people who are making films and putting people together. And that time just went by so quickly. And yeah, the dad ate all the popcorn. The poor kid was like, son was like, oh, there's none left. You ate it all.
Like, that's enough. Either we have to get more or I have to leave. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
so I really think that people have this warm, welcome reception to it. Everything's been really positive. And someone even said, like, how come we don't have one yet, right? Like, so it just seems like we have a bit of isolation being in the prairies, right? But there's a lot of growing Asian population. But there's this way that we can connect through stories and films, and that connection is just so meaningful. So for me, I feel like really inspired to be something part of that change. The other thing I feel like for the next generation, I want to see stories and interviews where actors like, I went to film school first and not medical school first, and did this as a backup kind of a thing. I want people to feel like there is money, you can thrive as an artist, as a filmmaker, and choose your passion, and there's space for you to have that opportunity. So for me, that's why we definitely need this.
No, that's awesome. Shawn?
That was a great answer.
Your was even better.
No, my what?
Yeah. What are you
Because
talking
it's
about?
just like, no, it's such
Yeah.
a obvious question. Like I don't.
Go
I
on.
want to resist the question
You can't.
because
no.
it's just like, why? Because I'm here. Like what? I'm moving to Vancouver and now I'm gonna start it in Edmonton.
Shawn, you
No.
could have also said because Calgary has one, so we have to have one. But yeah.
Well, no, it's true. I mean, but it would have felt nice to also be like here before Calgary, right? Like, just,
See, someone gets it.
No,
Harvey, question.
no.
Yeah,
But yeah.
Oh,
Oh
sorry.
no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no, no, no.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I mean, really, to to be beyond the jokes and whatever. Like, I just to echo off of what Su was saying. I'm a filmmaker, and so I totally see how centering Asian stories and having a film festival is going to hopefully inspire more people to, be part of storytelling and to really come out and share their experiences. I think that there's, in terms of the Canadian experience, like this really makes this more possible for the public to see that Asians actually have so many things to offer our society. So, this is the type of work that I really want to invest in. And I think Edmontonians, like Su already said, like they're very inspired and want to see this. And so that definitely like is a good motivation for me not to move. So no, that was a joke again. That was a joke.
I was like,
that was a joke.
ugh,
That was a
ugh.
joke. No,
I was like,
I'm
okay,
not
well.
moving anywhere. I'm not moving.
You better
anywhere.
not. No,
I
yeah.
love.
Yeah, it's like, I was like, he's moving? What? I was like, so caught off guard.
We almost have ideas every week that we are like, okay, what's feasible? What do we really want? What's crucial? What's our priority? And ultimately, like, does this enhance, make the experience better for our audience? Is this a way to connect with more industry events, things like that? So you just kind of have to pick something you really want to do and go, okay, gonna see through it and go for it.
No, it's amazing. That's awesome. I'm even more excited for this than I have been already. I do.
It's now
unlike-
real for you, Gabby.
Well, yeah, Ooh, yeah. And then also, hopefully, as a collective, we picked the films that everyone wants to see, but we'll find out when they let us know. But I wanted to, because we have this segment that we kind of do for some of our interviews. I want you to think into the future, 5 years from now. No bureaucracy, money's not a thing, forget all the kind of limitations. What would you folks both love to see, if not for the festival, then for the community in 5 years? Oh, yeah.
I want us to grow beyond a weekend. So if in 5 years, we have a 2-week festival like Toronto, Vancouver, and it's just going to be jam-packed events with different workshops, industry, networking, even panel discussions. have more screenings right now. Like we're going through the weekend, but in 5 years, if we run a 2-week festival, that would be amazing. And on top of that, I want to do some outreach to support community initiatives and, make films. Like, I don't know, can we say this? I want to be able to offer a pitch film.
Listen, I said
Funding.
5 years, no limitations. So sky is the limit. In fact, even further. So go hard. Yeah. What are they gonna do? Be like, hey, she said this? No. Like.
Well, you
Yeah.
hold me to this 5 years when I'm back here.
Like, we're writing this down, Sue. Yeah.
But when I saw in Vancouver, like emerging filmmakers, you could have someone who's just like in high school and is so passionate and want to make a film that they could come into a competition, pitch their film, and get funding for it. That I would love to see in 5 years, if we could get to that stage where you're coming to our festival and you pitch us a film and you get funding for it. That would be incredible.
Yeah, I think if we, in 5 years, it's already just part of Edmonton's like offerings in terms of like, have you been to FascinAsian? Like, I think if we just, it becomes part of like everyone's May schedule, that's what we would hope for, right? And that's just like the festival side of stuff, right? Like, I really hope that, by sharing more Asian stories, there becomes like a deeper understanding and appreciation for not just Asian communities, but all BIPOC communities in general. Like, and also the awareness for systems to understand, like, well, what does it mean to have like an Asian-led volunteer group do something like this? Like, that is very rare. And I mean, we're actively learning about what that means as well. So it's not like we're experts in knowing, but we do know that it's different. And we do know that it's worth investing in that. It's worth building on that. And so how can this festival potentially inspire and translate this to other community members that are looking for making space for their community, right? So that's, maybe a note.
Can I add to that?
Sure.
I feel like we've achieved that because, as you said, having both of us at the seat of the table in a leadership role, given our work in nonprofit and committee, like usually I would be one of 10, and I would be that minority. And it's always kind of has this feeling where I talk about inclusion and someone's like, well, there she goes again. We must include everyone and think of different perspectives.
Ouch.
And then you feel like, yeah, it is ouch because you feel like you're always the one raising DEI and you're just that one. But we're part of a team. We're at a leadership, we have a seat at the leadership and we can take in different perspective, right? We can be inclusive. And our festival, like you're already talking about BIPOC events, like really building that community for filmmakers, like we just want to be inclusive. I feel like by bringing this festival to it, and how we're running this festival with inclusive lens, we could kind of be that model. I'm not going to say how you can be inclusive, right? That is really tricky. But I do find that I've grown up over the years where being first generation, it's more like, wait your turn, right? Diversity includes, whatever you want, you have to wait your turn because there's only so much of the pie. And it's always like the smallest leftover pie, right? So you kind of grew up thinking that, you don't want to push for change. You don't want to, rock the boat. So I grew up with that, trying to stay safe, keep my head down. But I had enough of it. So I'm kind of feeling like I don't want that for the next generation. I don't want that for my children. I don't want them to keep their head down. I want them to be bold. I want them to say, you know what, this needs to change, and I'm going to be part of that change rather than suffer through the change. It's like, be that change, to take the action items. If you think you can do this, you have the capacity and the drive to, then go for it. Make that change. And I think that's kind of why I'm here. I want to change the narrative here. This festival, we're building something really incredible, and there's that change there, right? So.
No, I'll say we march to the ledge tonight. No, Yeah, Shawn, any thoughts?
You know, I've always rocked the boat. Thank goodness for my parents. I mean, I think I've always been kind of a disturber. And so, even within the arts, like I feel like it becomes part of the practice of, the thing that you mentioned, Harvey, it's a systemic thing, right? It's not something that is as scary as it might sound. It has a lot of implication to how people can behave, but at the end of the day, when I have people around me that I trust and I feel like we're on the same page, like that's actually what is all that matters, right? Is that really when you have a community that is backing you, like these systemic things will always swing. So we should not be scared about sticking to what we believe in and just going for it, because it doesn't matter what the policy tells. Like that just means that we are still behaving within like the system and what the system's telling us what we can and cannot do. And so let's try to be thinking about who we're around, what we want to change, and then that is going to ultimately be how the system will change to work for us. And so, yeah, that's just all noise. And FascinAsian's doing, some really amazing work.
Yeah,
Thanks to Su.
And Shawn and Gabby.
I'll stop, but continue. I was going to say one question that I kind of had. I think I know the answer to this, but so the folks at home. Okay, all right.
We'll let you
Relax.
handle the rest.
Relax. Is the festival, the festivals, actually, I should say, run at different times throughout May. You have your Winnipeg, Calgary, Edmonton. Can folks expect different kind of programming per festival? Are they kind of, I don't say the same, but like universally similar if you went to like Winnipeg, Calgary, Edmonton? Or is there going to be differences, like if I, hop down to Calgary, hop back up to Edmonton? What can they kind of expect there for programming?
Well, will be different vibes for sure.
Yeah, we're better. No, I'm just kidding.
Yo, meet Connor McDavid.
You were starting to make real huge promises here. Yeah.
Yeah.
The entire Oilers team will sign your yeah, like what can they are they going to be different, and are they kind of going to show, and I would imagine that they would, like local programming for each one? What's that kind of like?
Well, we will have local programming for each one. I think the venues are different. The experience will be different. They're all great. I definitely say, like, go to all three, and then you can kind of see which one, you really gravitate towards more. So, yeah.
I didn't say anything.
But yeah, it's just really nice because we work together to also have a greater reach, too. So definitely, drive to Calgary, come back to Edmonton, watch some of our programs. We're going to have different programming as well. Yeah, actually, I'll let you talk more about the programming.
Yeah, I mean, I think Su pretty much answered that. Like, every city has different spaces to offer. The cinemas are going to have a different experience. The community, different guests, especially like the local guests. So, we'll have some films that are selected from Edmonton. And so the likelihood of them being in Edmonton is obviously going to be great. So, if you want to witness and be part of the local Edmonton film scene, then, it makes sense to want to kind of gather and participate and hear what's going on, because it is going to be, although we are all prairie cities, we have a different kind of culture and vibe and thing that's going on here. So I think that's pretty exciting, even for like us as like organizers, to like get into the weeds of even the organizing. We kind of already know that there's differing opinions and differing cultures. So it really kind of is a great representation to all Asians are not the same, like even in the different
not.
prairie cities, right? So that's fantastic, right? Like we are literally doing the work when it comes to really understanding the diversity and yeah, the diasporic experience.
Awesome. No, I want to say that you have both been awesome, entertaining. Hopefully, I didn't, throw you around too much with the questions and what was being
Just
asked.
toss us around.
Well,
It's your show.
That's right. Thank you for reminding me. No, but as always, like you folks are wonderful. I'm very excited, so excited for this. In fact, that I've volunteered for it, as I've said, and even that entire process has been fantastic and phenomenal. So, with that, I really hope that this festival is a humongous success. I feel like it will be, and. This has been On Location with Gabby and Harvey. We'll catch you folks next time.